This is episode 387 for April 1st, 2025, and as always, I am your host, Aaron Snow, stepping into the batter's box. Major League Baseball opening weekend has come and gone as another glorious summer of America's pastime is getting back into full swing. But I am not here all by myself. On the other end of the dugout is my beautiful wife, Liz. Liz, how are you doing today now that opening day is come and gone?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Opening week was full of excitement with Ohtani and the Dodgers going undefeated and having their ring ceremony. And the Reds, well, the Reds got one win against the Giants, didn't they? I suppose that's something.
Yeah, kind of a disappointing weekend for the Tigers and the Reds, but what can you do? With only 159 more games left, you can't say the season's over yet, right? Well, the scripts are all teed up, so let's get the show underway. Here are the leadoff stories for this week in the world of baseball.
You're listening to This Week in the World of Football, which is coming to you from the fabulous World of Football Man Cave, located in the center of the football world, Kalamazoo, Michigan. The purpose of this podcast is to promote the game of football in all its many forms, past, present, and future. The intent is to educate, inform, and entertain you, the listener, with the glorious buffet that is the world of football, while also keeping a close eye on the rich history of the game. You can find this show on a multitude of podcast platforms as well as on YouTube. Timestamps are provided in the show description, so you can jump to the topics you really want to listen to. So without further ado, let's kick off this week's show.
Thank you, announcer lady, and thanks to my son Aaron and his wife Liz for the April Fool's Day opening. This is episode 387 for April 1st, 2025. I'm your host, Randy Snow. On this week's show, the 2025 UFL season kicked off, Deion Sanders signs a new contract with the University of Colorado, and the CFL's Saskatchewan Roughriders have added Dallas Cowboy quarterback Trey Lance to their negotiation list. But I'm not here all by myself. Across the table from me is my son, Adam.
That's right. It was my idea to do the World of Baseball bit. Aaron got to record it.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to do the show backwards, but I was overruled.
Well, it's too many things going on. April Fool's and a backwards show.
Yeah, that's how the April Fool's joke would go. It would be, you start at the end and you...
I like the idea of a backwards show. We'll do that some other time.
Nope, now it's spoiled. I've already ruined it. I don't want to do it anymore. This is the only time we're ever going to have an April Fool's show.
Well, maybe. It's been 8 years, and it's our first...
I think it's our first April Fool's show.
April Fool's show, yeah. Oh, well.
Our first and last. This is a gem, everybody.
Not only do we have this weekly podcast, but we also have YouTube videos. We currently have over 500 videos on our YouTube channel. Our most recent additions have been last week's AF1 Week 3 recap. Say that faster.
The one we just did last night.
We just did it last night. We just posted it this morning. It's got around 150 views already. Thank you, everybody, for that. The only upcoming video we've got is next week's AF1 recap for Week 4.
No, it's not.
No?
Check the notes. There's more in the notes, Randy.
Oh, jeez. You added that without telling me?
Yeah.
Our IFL travelogue with the Tulsa Oilers at the Fishers Freight game.
Yeah.
Which we will be at next Friday.
This upcoming Friday.
This coming Friday.
Yeah.
Are you going to have that turned around
heck yeah.
soon?
Oh, heck yeah. Are you kidding me? It'll be up by Monday at the latest. Shoot. I got the weekend off. So, yeah, I'll have time to make a travelogue video. Are you kidding me?
All right.
I'll probably edit it on the drive home if you drive.
Me driving at night? Yeah, you don't want
I'll
that.
give you a 12-pack of Mountain Dew, and you'll be all jacked up.
All right. Let's suspense with the frivolity, and let's get down to business here. We're going to begin our weekly tour around the world of football, and we're going to start off this week with scores from Arena Football 1. Do you want to take these first couple, or
it depends. You yelled at me for not giving you enough airtime on the other show, so I was going to let you take this one.
Well, okay. Week 3 scores from the AF1. On Friday night, it was the Corpus Christi Tritons over the Salina Liberty, 51-37. This was kind of a shocker for me. I didn't expect Corpus Christi to win that big.
It was only 14 points.
I know, but still.
The biggest margin of the weekend.
Yeah, I figured Salina would bounce back after their Week 1 loss. But
we figured they'd bounce back. We just weren't sure how much. They controlled the first half. I mean, they led going into halftime. So I thought they were vastly improved, but Corpus Christi also, had a lot going for them. They clearly had enough to win the game. Darius Prince had a couple touchdown catches. So, we'll have to, like I said on the show, I'm curious to see how these two teams will be against other teams because they've only played each other for 2 games this season. So the Tritons have the bye week, and then Salina will go off to play Albany. I think,
yes,
this upcoming week. So
I think
that'll be a
the
very
Sunday night
tough.
game on
Yeah, that'll be a
Vice.
tough challenge for them, but it'll also be a nice measuring stick to see where they are, just in terms of their week by week improvement.
Yeah. Corpus Christi did have nets at both ends of the field this time. That was looking pretty good. I didn't have any sound on the broadcast. You kind of confirmed this, that you had the same thing. The first 2.5 minutes of the show, there was no audio, and then all of a sudden it popped in, and I lost it again later around the 9:30 mark.
They must have kept losing because I definitely watched it for more than that in a different point, and I didn't have sound either. So.
Okay.
They clearly were having audio issues down there in Corpus Christi.
Yeah, and we talked about how last week they didn't have any ads on the dasher boards that you could see, and this week they had a camera in the end zone and they panned from one side to the other, and they did have some ads, maybe a dozen, less than a dozen probably, but it was on the side of the field underneath the camera, so you couldn't see them for the whole game.
Very, very bizarre. I mean, we talked about it on that show last night, but I mean, still the fact that they don't have ads going around the whole dashboards is very concerning. I think I can see where people would be concerned, but boy, I don't know what to make of that. Why they would think about only putting it on that side as opposed to the side where your cameras are going to see it every game.
Yeah, and then that Sunday night game. I mean, I'm not jumping ahead, but they had on their dasher boards that place was full of ads from one end to the other in the Sunday night game. So it was very evident that Corpus Christi did not have that many. But even if you only got a few, put them on the side where the camera shows them.
Right. I felt like, so this week we talked about, it was a stronger weekend for the AF1, just in terms of quality of play on the field. I would like to point out, like, there's still some issues, clearly.
Oh, yeah.
But my big issue is with a lot of these fields right now, like the taping down, I don't know what they're doing to put some of the, like, team logos and sponsors down on the actual field. It looks like they're just putting a tarp down with a logo on it because like the Triton center field got tore up during the game, and you could see the old NAL logo underneath it popping out, and I don't know. It was just a weird, bad optic, and I don't understand how that's even safe for players to run on, to be honest with you.
Yep.
So
let me see here. What's my other notes? The Liberty scored first. The Tritons then scored a touchdown, followed by a deuce on the ensuing kickoff, and they went up 9-7 early in the game. Liberty got a field goal, and they were up 10-9. Let's see what else. What other notes I have here? Salina was up 24-17 at halftime. The Tritons tied the game 24-24 in the third. The score was tied again, 31-31 at the start of the fourth quarter. But in the fourth quarter, Corpus Christi scored 3 touchdowns, the last with 9 seconds left in the game. Salina got some consolation prize at the end when they returned the ensuing kickoff for a touchdown as time expired to make that final score 51-37. So, yeah, I mean, it was still a good game, fun to watch. And anything else from this game?
not really. I don't know. I didn't realize that, was Corpus Christi wearing different uniforms than their powder blues? I think they had black uniforms this time, maybe.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, I couldn't remember either.
That's a couple of days ago. I thought they were wearing blue.
Oh, I couldn't remember. I thought I heard on the AF1 Fancast that maybe the Tritons had their black uniforms on. Like I said, I don't remember. That one didn't jump out to me like a couple of these other games where their jerseys really stuck out.
Well, let's move on to the Saturday night game. We had the Albany Firebirds defeating the Nashville Cats 42-34. Albany was up 30-27 at halftime. Albany went up 39-34 in the third quarter, and the only point scored in the fourth quarter was a field goal by Albany with 35 seconds left in the game, making that final score 42-34. Really boring fourth quarter with no scoring going on, but the rest of the game was pretty good. So Albany's 2-0, and Nashville's 0-2, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's weird. I think the fact that Albany, didn't blow them out. Also speaks something to maybe about the Cats. That the Cats, with that couple weeks of extra prep, extra time to kind of reset their roster, definitely worked in their favor. Coach Arbette knows how to, put an arena roster together. He's won championships, for goodness sake.
Yep.
But weird story that just came out a little while ago. According to the AF1's website, one player was released, and that was the quarterback for the Cats, Cato, who they just got. And I thought he looked decent in that game, and they turned around and released him. So he's got to clear waivers, and he could be a free agent in the AF1 or see if somebody picks him up.
Yeah, that is
just a weird decision that that would happen. That's what we saw right before we hit record. So I just find that odd because I thought this is a guy you could build around if you're the Cats, but apparently not.
Yeah.
Must be another big name out there that they're about to try to land.
Could be. Let's see. Then moving on to the Sunday night game. This was a great game. I mean, not just because of the ending, but just start to finish. This was classic arena football in my book.
Yeah.
Oregon Lightning over the Southwest Kansas Storm, 41-40 in what you have dubbed the Dodge City debacle.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you for giving me the credit. That's all I want is credit.
Oregon scored first in this game, but Southwest Kansas had a 33-7 lead before Oregon started to make a comeback, and boy did they. The Storm was up 33-23 at halftime. Both teams wore what looked like home jerseys. Somebody likened it to a color rush game.
I think it was somebody from, I don't know if they were an Oregon fan or part of the Oregon organization, and call them color rush jerseys. So clearly the orange isn't, a home jersey for the Lightning, but that's like their
like an alternate jersey?
Color rush alternate, because we'd heard stories that all these teams are going to have like 3 jerseys.
Okay.
So, and we've already seen 2 of the 3 from Oregon, at least their new uniform sets. And then Southwest Kansas, now we know they got a black one coming, and then this is their purple one, and we've already seen their road unis. So I don't know. It was just jarring at first. Didn't look terrible. I wonder if we'll see more of this, of these alternate uniforms being worn on the road for teams, just to make it look like a color rush game.
Yeah. And last week, Southwest Kansas had the first name and last name of all the players on the backs of their jerseys. This week, they went with just the last names on the jerseys. Oregon didn't have any names at all on their jerseys. Southwest Kansas led 33-29 at the end of the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, Oregon had a couple of chances to take the lead. They had a couple times when they were down on the 1-yard line, 4th and goal, and they came up empty. At least twice, if not 3 times in that game. That kind of was a big difference in that game. They just couldn't seem to take the lead, and they were always behind a little bit. Southwest Kansas extended their lead to 40-29 with 1:41 seconds remaining in the game. Oregon then scored a touchdown, but failed on a two-point conversion, which left the score at 40-35. So again, they're close, but they're not taking the lead. On the ensuing kickoff ensuing onside kickoff by Oregon was recovered by Southwest Kansas. You would think they were just going to run out the clock at that point, with a minute and a half left. No, that was not the case. For whatever reason, it was mismanagement of the clock or not knowing the rules. I don't know what was going on, but they gave the ball back after they couldn't convert a 4th down. Yeah. With 4 seconds left, they gave the ball back to Oregon. 4 seconds, they're on about their own 10-yard line, 10 or 11-yard line.
Yeah.
And one play, and what happened? I guess I didn't know that this guy was not a wide receiver, that he was a defensive back, but they lined him up as a wide receiver and sent him down the field, and he's the one that scored the game-winning touchdown with no time on the clock.
Right. Nicholas Brissell.
Yep. Yeah, in triple coverage. Yep. I watched that play 2 or 3 times. I kept running it back, and he had 3 guys around him. Yeah. They all knew that he was probably going to be the one to get it. He just outran everybody and caught it off the dasher boards. Yeah.
What a bizarre sequence at the end. And then it was pointed out on the AF1 Fancast that there should have been an extra point at the end of the game. They just ended the game there. Right. Which makes sense. They probably should have, because if it was blocked and returned, it could have been 2 points in favor of the Storm, and they could have won the game. So they were kind of robbed of that opportunity, even though, most likely if you were Oregon, you would have just made the extra point, or if you don't know the rules, you go and kneel it. I
could have just run for two and made a half-hearted effort just to get tackled.
Yeah, So supposedly they should have had another play, but they didn't. They just called it game after the go-ahead touchdown. But
yeah.
So still some stuff to work out. I know the officiating's been something that's been kind of inconsistent in the AF1. So I know stories about Gary Copton's been reviewing a lot of officiating and stuff throughout the season. So I'm sure that'll improve over the season. So we'll see. Yeah. But regardless, heck of a finish.
Yeah.
Even though I fell asleep at several points because I thought it got boring there for a little bit. Nothing was happening.
Yeah.
Everybody kept getting stopped. I just kept dozing off like, nothing's happening. I'm going to close my eyes for a second.
Yeah.
And luckily, I was up in time to see the way that game finished.
Yeah, Southwest Kansas should have won that game. I mean, it should have been a no-brainer. When they had the ball in their hands, they should have found a way to keep the clock running, keep the ball inbounds.
Just unfathomable how that coach is going to be. I won't say drilled, but he's gonna have to have some answers going forward because you can't allow that to happen again.
Right.
And arena ball, I know it's a different style of game. And it comes at you fast. Mm-hmm. So you really got to learn the ins and outs of, okay, situationally, how should we handle, giving the ball back? Because like we kind of mentioned on the recap is that there's really only two rules you got to know. It's don't give your ball to the opponent. Don't let your opponent have the last possession of the game.
Yeah.
And two, whatever the other rule was I said, which when I made that comment on the show, I was like, I sound very smart for saying this. Now I can't remember what I said.
That you have to get yardage to keep the clock running?
Well, that's a no-brainer. You'd think that'd be all these
Not
coaches should know that apparently.
But that's not that way in the IFL, and if these coaches have IFL experience, that's not common to them.
Yeah, but that I think that's something they're going to have to learn, that this isn't the IFL. This isn't indoor football rules. While, yes, it's on a 50-yard field. Yes, it's indoors. Yes, there's dasher boards. The style is different.
Yes.
And you find that out real quick. And we've been seeing that in the first few weeks now, and the debate between shotgun versus quarterbacking under center, the differences of that.
Yep.
The style and how many times teams are running and how they're running. We've kind of seen all Billings kind of tweak some stuff to really innovate arena ball. I think by having a fullback in motion, that was a game changer in my opinion. The guy that I forget his name at the top of my head, he was the player of the week that week. The big fullback that they would just throw him in motion and give him the ball, and he had 5 touchdowns during that game.
Wow!
But so there can be innovation, but man, you got to really, really know this game.
Yeah,
and you can't just think, if we just throw it 4 seconds left, what are they going to do? Mm-hmm. In arena football, that's the other rule. The game ain't over till the clock hits 0. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I knew I'd get there if I talked long enough.
Well, we've been saying that for years because we saw it so many times.
Any game.
When we were at
any
at
sport,
Rampage games,
any game.
You never leave an arena football game until the clock says 0.
Especially arena, but like it's any football game. How many games, like Lions games we've seen that happen to? It's not over till it's over. I think that runs the gamut across sports. It's not over until it's over.
The Lions game against Houston last year.
Yeah, that one too.
That's a good example. Okay, looking ahead to next week in the Arena Football League. On Thursday night,
AF1.
I'm sorry. No, there's another dollar in the jar. Week 4 in the AF1. Thursday night, it's Billings Outlaws at the Washington Wolfpack. Friday, Oregon Lightning at the Nashville Cats. And on Sunday, in the Vice game, it's going to be the Albany Firebirds at the Salina Liberty.
Very interesting slate of games this week. Very curious about all of them. I have a bad feeling about that Albany-Salina game, but who knows? Maybe Salina gets their crap together this week.
It should be a good game.
Or they're pooping a group, as you like to hear me say.
Yeah. We're hoping for a good game there. All right, moving on to the National Arena League, Week 4 scores. On Friday night, it was the Carolina Cobras over the Columbus Lions, 40-20. That surprised me because Columbus is a darn good team, and they don't lose very often, so that was a surprise. On Saturday, it was the Omaha Beef over the Idaho Horsemen, 28-24, in a pretty close game. And also on Saturday, it was the Sioux City Bandits over the Colorado Spartans, 35-26. Looking ahead to Week 5 in the NAL on Thursday, it's the Shreveport Rougarou at the Idaho Horsemen. And on Saturday, it's the Wheeling Miners at the Carolina Cobras. Just 2 games next week.
You didn't catch any NAL action this weekend?
No, I did not. Not a bit. And moving on to the IFL, I did not catch any of these games either.
Because you still haven't paid for the subscription?
And I never will. All right. On Friday night, there were two games. The Quad City Steamwheelers defeated the Massachusetts Pirates 37-33. The Green Bay Blizzard defeated the Iowa Barnstormers 52-47. On Saturday, the Fishers Freight defeated the Northern Arizona Wranglers 41-29. Pick up their first ever win in the IFL on the road. So,
yeah,
good for them.
I tried to watch this game. Had some issues at first because the IFL, I don't know if you have this as a story, but they have an actual app now that you can download in the App Store for the IFL network.
I did not know that.
Yep, I think they got the Google Play. They definitely have the Apple Store. So I downloaded it, and I thought it worked on Friday night because I had the option to see some of the games there. Then Saturday night, when I went to try to watch this Fishers Freight game, it kept giving me an error. Nothing. I couldn't find it. I was like, I'm looking forward to just checking out this game, and I was at home and at the bar, and I'm just trying to pull it up. Nothing. Error messages. Then I'd go to my web browser where I logged into the IFL network last week, and that worked. But even then, it was still kind of the same buggy issues, tiny little things they still got to work out. But I just thought that the fact that you already have this app and it wasn't working right, IFL, you should be a little further along with this than I think they are.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if anybody else is having as many headaches as I have been. Casting these games on my TV has been an issue still, so I don't know. But I will say what I could catch of the Northern Arizona Wranglers game and Fishers Freight game, the Wranglers field looked nice. They had a big old logo in the middle of the field, too. I was like, dang, this is looking pretty good. I thought the Freight's uniforms looked sharp. And, they got a nice win there on the road.
Yeah, I did see one highlight, I must say. I think it was, I don't know if it was on YouTube or it must have been on just one. Yeah, X probably, where the Arizona quarterback went back to throw a pass, and I think he got hit or somebody hit his arm.
Yeah.
It popped up, and one of the linemen picked it up and ran for a touchdown. That was a good play.
Hey, makes my pick for the Fishers Freight to win it all look pretty darn good after 1 week. I'm just saying.
All right, then there were two games on Sunday in the IFL. It was the Arizona Rattlers over the Tucson Sugar Skulls, 56-28, and the San Antonio Gunslingers over the Bay Area Panthers, 28-21. That one surprised me a little bit too.
Then coming out of the news yesterday, that Gunslingers have parted ways with their head coach after just 2 games this season. That was something that totally shocked me.
I didn't see that.
Oh, you didn't add that to the rundown either?
No, I did not.
I thought I sent that to you because I thought that was a weird story. That 2 games into the season, he parted ways with the team.
Wow.
Very suddenly, unexpectedly. When I saw that, just totally caught me off guard.
Are the Gunslingers 0-2?
No, I think they were 1-1 because they won this past week, and I think they lost week 1. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they did win this game, so they couldn't be 0-2.
Yeah.
Duh.
The Gunslingers right now are 1-1. So after winning a game, and they parted ways with their head coach for, I believe the phrase was something where their visions didn't align or something like that with the ownership. I don't know. I thought winning was the goal, but I don't know. It's a weird situation. Just thought we'd touch on that real quick. I thought you already had it in the notes.
No, I did not. I did not see that. Okay, and then last night, Monday night, the Vegas Nighthawks defeated the San Diego Strike Force by the score of 48-41.
It's a nice close game on a Monday night. Didn't stay up for that one, though.
So looking ahead to Week 3 in the IFL, on Friday night, it's the Tulsa Oilers at the Fishers Freight, and surprise, surprise, we're going to be there.
Yeah, very excited about this. We're curious to see this atmosphere, curious to see what kind of
their stadium,
their arena and all that, and we have not been to an IFL game in years.
Last time we went was 2010.
2010, oh my gosh.
Yes.
That's when the IFL was a little baby.
Yeah, they had a team up in Grand Rapids, the West Michigan Thunderhawks, I think is what it was, and I can't remember who they played.
You got it in a spreadsheet somewhere.
I do have it in a spreadsheet because I looked it up recently, but yeah, it's been 2010 since we were at a game, an IFL game. Yeah, you look that up, and I'll give the other scores for next week.
2010? Oh, I can give you this information right this second if you give me the time. So we saw the Maryland Maniacs take on the West Michigan Thunderhawks. Apparently this was a game I was at, and this was at the Deltaplex in Grand Rapids, which I don't remember going to the Deltaplex for this game.
I do remember.
Any Thunderhawks games I remember us going to was all in Muskegon.
Yeah, when they were the Muskegon Thunder, and then they moved to Grand Rapids, became the Thunderhawks.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what it was, because I don't remember that at all. football.
Yep. All right, and then on Saturday, there's the Quad City Steamwheelers at the Iowa Barnstormers, and then 3 games on Sunday in the IFL, the Arizona Rattlers at the Green Bay Blizzard, Vegas Nighthawks at the Jacksonville Sharks, and the San Diego Strikeforce at the Bay Area Panthers. All right, and this last weekend was also the first weekend, week 1, for the UFL.
Oh, yeah.
So now we've got outdoor football on a 100-yard field being played also.
Spring football's back, and you know what? For the most part, pretty good broadcast. Some of the games a little lopsided, though.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about the broadcast themselves, too. I don't know how much of the UFL you watched this past weekend. You forgot about the Panthers, which shocked me.
I watched the first 2 games because I was watching the arena games on my laptop. So I'm sitting on the bed with my laptop on my lap, and I had the TV on. So I had the TV muted, but I was paying attention to the IFL games. So I had IFL and UFL both
You mean
Friday
arena?
night. Yeah. Arena.
Because you don't subscribe to the IFL.
No,
right?
I do
We all
not.
know.
That's right. Okay, so I had Arena on my laptop, and I had UFL on the TV 2 nights in a row. Games were on at the same time.
You were in heaven.
And then Sunday, I just completely forgot about the UFL altogether. I saw nothing of the 2 games on Sunday.
Oh, wow. Okay, well,
So-
we got stuff to talk about.
Yeah, so on Friday night, it was the St. Louis Battlehawks over the Houston Roughnecks, 31-6. St. Louis was up 18-0 at halftime. They were up 31-0 in the fourth quarter. A late touchdown by Houston with 2 minutes and 24 seconds left in the game. Their PAT failed. Battlehawks running back Jarvian Howard had a 74-yard touchdown run in the fourth quarter, and that was a new UFL record. And it only lasted about 24 hours because on Saturday, the Arlington Renegades defeated the San Antonio Brahmas 33-9. In that game, Arlington running back Kalen Bailage, I think that's how you pronounce his name, had a 77-yard touchdown run in the second quarter, and that is now the new longest play in UFL history. Scoring play, I guess.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday was the Michigan Panthers over the Memphis Showboats, 26-12. I did not see any of that game.
I watched most of this game.
Okay, go ahead and talk about it.
The Panthers looked good. For a minute there, they almost let the Showboats back in the game. But Braylon Speaks is one of the best defenders in the UFL. I was glad to see him back in a Panthers uniform because he was wreaking havoc early. The Panthers kind of ran a dual quarterback system, and I think they had the play of the weekend where the quarterback, whose name's going to escape me, it was like 4th and goal. It was the first touchdown of the game, and he fumbled the snap, rolled up to the outside after he picked it up, and had to go through 2 defenders just to get to the end zone. It was a heck of a play, heck of an effort. So we'll see if he's the starter going forward. And like I said, I can't at the time. We don't have notes on the players here because Randy didn't pay attention to the games.
No, I have no notes on these last 2 games.
But I'm curious to see how good the Panthers actually will be because I thought they put up a good effort, and Memphis looked a little better than even the score showed. They were also running a couple of quarterbacks during the game, and the interim head coach I thought did a decent job too.
How was the kicker for the Panthers? Did he do a decent job?
Field goal wise, he lacks that Jake Bates quality of making them.
Of course.
Something I did notice on the kickoffs, he did something weird because they got different kickoff rules in the UFL this year, and when he kicked off, the ball was sitting on the tee like you would display it on your shelf, not
sideways.
up and down, nose on the top,
On its
nose
side.
to the sky. It was like on its side, and he kicked it like that, and I thought that was very odd. And I don't know if that's been a hot topic of discussion amongst people or not, but I saw that and I was like, this is a weird thing. But I know with the new kickoff rules, it kept it in that weird field of play. It definitely made it tough to return a couple times. So might be something there.
Okay. And then finally on Sunday, it was the DC Defenders and their Beer Snake defeating the Birmingham Stallions 18-11. That sounds more like a CFL score.
does sound like a
18-11.
CFL score.
Was that a scoreagami, I wonder, for
I have
the
no
UFL?
idea. I'm sure it's a UFL scoreagami. I didn't really catch any of this game. I was shocked that the Stallions lost the defense, but I mean the Stallions were in it apparently. It wasn't like they were blown out, but definitely not the same looking Stallions. But I mean it's week 1.
Right.
Give them time; they'll get humming.
Yeah.
Because I think they brought Alex Magoo back this year, so they should be all right. I'm not worried about them at all. But the DC Defenders continue to prove why they have the best. Well, hold on, second best home field atmosphere in the UFL. That Beer Snake again is a treasure and needs to be protected.
Yeah, I saw a picture on either X or Facebook that it showed the beer snake in the first quarter and the beer snake in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You know, one on top of the other.
That's what the internet was made for. Okay. So the limited games you watched, and you clearly didn't watch with the sound on. Otherwise,
No.
I feel like you'd be complaining about this too. It's not in your notes, but the games I was watching, especially the ones that I watched, was on ESPN. The amount of times they had to mention the betting line and cut away to this girl who would talk about the updated odds for players and the line itself of the game, like, got old really quick. Even the announcers getting in and just talking about this betting line and not the game was very frustrating. And it continues to frustrate me now that they keep cutting away to these interviews during the game. Yes, I get it. All this extra access is to an extent appealing, and on paper sounds appealing, but it is so distracting and takes away from the game. I don't need to hear the backup quarterback tell me what's about to happen on the field, or they botch it and he's telling me what just happened. Oh, well, since we just ran the ball 2 yards, we're going to probably try this now. I don't care. I really do not care.
Yeah.
Going up to these guys after they made big plays is kind of one thing, but even then it's like, I don't need to talk to a guy who literally just threw an interception. Like, I don't need to hear that. Like, I want to get back to the game. I just felt like they did a lot of terrible jobs with some of this. The presentation on the ESPN side. So I don't know if the Fox side was just as egregious.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. Like
since
I said,
you watched it with your sound
the two
off.
games I watched, there was no sound.
Yeah, well, there was sound. You chose not to listen. But I don't know. I hope that's not a trend. I hope they tweak that going forward because it is so unnecessary, borderline to where I want to make a video about. They got to stop. They really got to stop.
Well, if you're complaining about all the betting stuff, I'm sure DraftKings or whoever is a huge sponsor of the league, so of course they're going to get all
ESPN
kinds
Bet.
Okay.
Because they kept going back to an ESPN Bet expert, some chick in a studio probably reading all these updating lines like it's her genius plan or her model that she made. I don't know, don't care. It was dumb and irritating. I'm like, I just want to watch the game. Yeah. But some positives that came out of these. Did you see the defender cams? Like they had a camera on a player's jersey where it was like from his perspective of making a tackle.
No,
those were great.
Okay.
Look up some of those. Like I don't know where they had it exactly attached to the defender, but it was like a bunch of defensive players across the league would have a camera so you could see them making and wrapping up a tackle or like their arms as they're huffing and puffing trying to chase down a guy. It was pretty cool. And you felt like you were right there when they were chest bumping a teammate during a celebration. You just felt like you were in the middle of the action. That was a pretty cool innovation. Yet again, the UFL shows why their reffing system, their command center, replay, all that is far superior to the NFL, and that the NFL needs to go in this direction. Yeah. I like the transparency to a point. I feel like they should stop playing all this crap in the stadium, though, to be honest with you. Because, like, if you're sitting there, they're like, well, we're going to penalize number 23 for this and that, and we need to move the ball here. Like, because we were at a UFL game, and we could kind of hear some of that at the game. We're going to hear it probably in a couple weeks here. Just maybe take that out of the stadium, because it's like, oh, okay, cool. Now we all know what's about to happen before the referee makes the announcement. I guess it's one thing at home. It enhances the home experience, I think. But when you're at the game, I don't know. It just... They could probably do without that. Because you could hear them over the loudspeaker sometimes, I think. Yeah.
One bit of news that did come out of the UFL this past week is the players decided not to go on strike at the last minute before the Friday night game. And even though they don't have a collective bargaining agreement signed with the league, and I guess some players wrote a letter, or the union wrote a letter to
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Yeah, I saw they posted that. So yeah,
because he was supposed to be at that first game, and something happened where he didn't show up.
Yeah.
That was a thing too. Yeah. I don't know what happened, but yeah, he didn't show up like he said he was gonna.
Well, according to his ex-wife, Daddy Garcia, she said that some problem with the plane, or his plane got canceled or something. That's why he wasn't there. It's not that he was avoiding the game or not.
Yeah, likely story.
Whatever,
Dwayne
but that was the story. But yeah, I mean, I didn't hear about this until like the day before the game that the players might strike or something. I started to hear rumors about that. And I guess it almost came to fruition that they weren't going to play if they didn't have a CBA, but at the last minute they decided, okay, we'll do it. So I mean that would have really derailed the league if the players had said, we're not playing.
They got to get their stuff together. I don't know what they got to do. Apparently it's all over health care and stuff like that, which these guys should have.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, that's important.
But at the same time, I don't know. This league, they got to figure their stuff out. Otherwise, this might be the last year we see of the UFL.
All right, looking ahead to Week 2 in the UFL. This Friday night, it's going to be the Birmingham Stallions at the Michigan Panthers. Saturday, it's going to be the Memphis Showboats at the DC Defenders. And Sunday, 2 games, just like this week, the Houston Roughnecks at the Arlington Renegades and the San Antonio Brahmas at the St. Louis Battlehawks.
Very curious to see these teams going forward. Like, it's still kind of getting a feel for a lot of them, and we all know in spring, indoor ball, week to week, these teams could be vastly different.
Yeah.
So we'll see how these teams look going forward.
Okay. All right, well, that's it for the scores for this week. So let's move on to some other happenings in the world of football. And we're going to start with the NFL. Jersey Mike's is going to replace Subway as a NFL sponsor. That's kind of a big deal.
That is a big deal.
I mean, I love both of them, but I've really gotten into Jersey Mike's the last few years since they put one here in Kalamazoo.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed Jersey Mike's.
Jersey Mike's is okay. I mean, if you're gonna go with a sub place, you got to go with Jimmy John's. That's my sub choice.
Well, I do like the Jersey Mike's.
Get that Hunter's Club, baby.
Philly cheesesteak from Jersey Mike's.
I mean,
that was
was
awesome.
okay. That was okay.
No, that is awesome. Awesome. Totally
I'll
awesome.
still stick with my sweet onion chicken teriyaki from the Subway.
Yeah, you like that.
That's been my sandwich for life.
Going back to high school?
Heck yeah, all the way back to high school.
A long time ago.
20 years I've been eating that sandwich.
You haven't been out of high school for 20 years.
It'll be 20. Well, it's 18 years this year.
Wow.
Right? I know.
I'm old.
It's like going through high school.
You're old.
It's like going through school again.
Let's see. The Minnesota Vikings partner with 51 Minnesota high schools to launch the Minnesota Girls Flag Football League. The Vikings will contribute $600,000 to support the league. The team had recently announced that they were partnering with 6 Minnesota colleges to form a collegiate women's college football team. When I mentioned this to
Flag
you,
football
said,
league?
Yeah, didn't we cover this already? I said, no. First it was 6 colleges for women's flag football, and now it's 51 high schools. So they're really supporting girls sports in the state of Minnesota. Good for them.
It's a pretty awesome story, and you like hearing this trend kind of spreading throughout the country and hearing different NFL teams.
Yeah, the
involved.
Cowboys got into high school football also, girls flag football. So yeah, it's getting bigger all the time. The Baltimore Ravens, their head coach John Harbaugh, who is 62 years old,
doesn't look it,
signed a 3-year extension with the team through the 2028 season. Now, I didn't see any details on this contract, so it may have come out in the days since this happened a few days ago, but I haven't seen it. But good for him. And also, the Ravens have unveiled their 30th anniversary logo for this upcoming season.
It's been 30 years since they jumped ship from Cleveland.
It seems like it was yesterday with the Browns left town and then or not Browns left town, the Colts left town, and then the Browns came in a couple of years later or whatever. That was so strange. But I remember when all that happened. I can't believe that was 30 years ago.
Unbelievable. Because the Browns became the Ravens, but then they said no, they're not. They're a new team because they gave all their history to the
They left the history, the stats, and everything in Cleveland for a new team to come later on in '99.
That was a whole weird situation. Because even my 10-year-old brain at the time was like, "What? I don't understand this."
Well, the NFL let the owner move his team there, but he had to leave the Browns' name and stats in Cleveland because they knew they were going to bring him back. Which at the time I thought that is the right thing to do because the Browns were such a historic team in the NFL and the AAFC before that if they were ever going to come back, they needed to have their legacy there. They didn't want their legacy to go by the way of Baltimore. So at the time I thought it was a good deal.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was 10 years old and I just didn't understand all that at the time. So.
Yesterday was Peter Schrager's last day on Good Morning Football on the NFL Network. He's moving on to ESPN. That was a shock. I mean, I don't watch it religiously every day, but I just happened to start watching it, and all of a sudden and it was towards the end of the show, and they're having all these goodbye to Peter Schrager and all these highlights and stuff, and I'm like, what the heck? And I guess it leaked over the weekend that Monday was going to be his last day, the 31st of March. And so, of course, it's a 2-hour show, but then they start re-showing it. So I watched it again for the next 2 hours to watch the whole thing and get the whole story and everything. I mean, he's been there since 2016 when they launched that show. And it's just weird that he all of a sudden, boom, he's going to ESPN.
just weird. Like, I thought that was a weird move for him, only because like ESPN's been cutting back people, and you're gonna jump over to that place that just willy nilly just cutting talent. What do you got for this?
But the kicker here is that ESPN is on the verge of buying the NFL Network.
Wow.
So I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know either. I don't know what he plans on, because he's already doing stuff with Fox. You know, he does a lot of the
He does
sideline
Fox
stuff.
Yep.
And he was doing some other stuff. But I don't know. We'll see. I think he's a good analyst. So
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
He was just so associated with that show.
He was a staple.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Lions defensive end John Kaminsky announced his retirement at the age of 29. He was a fourth-round pick in 2019 by the Falcons. He played just 5 NFL seasons, 3 with Atlanta and 2 with Detroit. You brought this to my attention yesterday, and I didn't know the details till just a little while ago. That he's only been out there for 5 years, but already he's decided he wants to quit while he's still healthy.
Yeah, medical reasons, and
he didn't want an injury to be the way his career ended. He wanted to go out on his own terms. So good luck to him. I mean, it's
a bit of a shocker.
It is a shock, but I mean, if that's what's good for him, then
he was
a
solid. I won't say backup, but he was a role player on that defensive line. I know Kyle, brother-in-law Kyle, loved him. Liked him. Always talked about getting Kaminsky when we get Kaminsky back. And, it just stinks, but hey, it's a game. You got to look out for you. Yep. And as long as he's healthy and happy with his decision, it's fine.
Yep. Let's see. The NFL owners meeting began yesterday, and today, my gosh, there was just so much stuff that came out today. It's amazing what they can do in a day or so. I mean, the first day was nothing but photo ops and interviews, and then today, I mean, by 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, they had all these things that they had already come up with. They made 2 major rule changes and all these other things that we're going to talk about right now. One of the rule changes was that each team will now get to have a possession in overtime in regulation. During the regular season. They've had it in the playoffs, but now they're going to move it to the regular season, so everybody gets a possession in overtime, which should have happened a long time ago.
Right.
Yeah,
should have happened when they changed the rule to begin with for overtime.
Yeah, when they moved it to overtime, they should have done it for regular season at that time.
Yeah.
So this is a good move. I totally approve of that. Overtime period is going to remain at 10 minutes, not 15. I'm fine with that.
I guess.
Here's one of the big ones. Replay assist has been expanded. Hits on defenseless players, grabbing the face mask, performing a horse collar tackle, tripping, and running into or roughing the kicker can now be reviewed. However, those penalties can only be reviewed if the officials throw a flag on the play. If a coach believes the flag is not warranted, he can challenge and potentially have the penalty overturned. But in cases where no flag is thrown by an official on a play, coaches will not be able to challenge. If an official misses a penalty, a coach can't use replay to change the situation. That is wrong.
Because the whole point, the whole issue was the no-called face masks. And
right.
So how are we fixing anything?
This is not good. I mean, yes, sure, expand, more plays can be challenged, absolutely. But to say that if a official misses a blatant pass interference call that everybody knows, and we've seen it in the past.
Yeah.
Saw it in that
they tried doing that
game
before. That didn't work.
But I mean, everybody and their brother knows from the replay. Within the first time you see the replay, you'll know he hit him before the ball got there. That's a penalty. You can't challenge that.
Simple solution is you get Dean Blandino. You get that UFL war room, whatever they call it, the command center. Yeah. You just slap a big NFL logo on it over the UFL logo, and you say, "All right, watch our games now." And that's how you fix it. Yep. They need a command center. The CFL's got one. The UFL's got one. We know the NFL's got one. They just don't use them. There's probably a bunch of cobwebs and some fat dude sitting with his feet up on the monitor, not doing nothing.
As usual, with the NFL, it's 1 step forward and 2 steps back.
Yeah.
And this is your 2 steps back there.
It doesn't make much sense about hey, look, I saw a face mask. Well, since we didn't throw a penalty, coach, you can't challenge it.
Right.
Huh? How are we fixing this? It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And it's frustrating.
Yep.
don't get this. I just don't. Reading this makes me even more mad.
That is a real head scratcher there. I don't like that at all. Yep. Moving on to some other stuff that came out today. Touchbacks on kickoffs will be spotted now at the 35-yard line rather than the 30-yard line.
Yeah, they're trying to decentivize the kicking the ball into the end zone.
Yep.
But man,
yeah, because that was a useless play. I mean, just kicking it off the end zone again, get it at the 30.
But I mean,
Everybody
again, they want returns, they want some excitement. But man, the 35 now. I was okay with the 30. Even then, I was like, man, the 30. After being at the 20 for so long, then okay, 25 I get. Then it's the 30. Now it's the 30. What's next? Are they going to start moving out to the 40?
Midfield.
Is it going to be moving up to midfield?
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Like, how much further can they take this?
I don't know. Here's one that really shocked me. The NFL is going to use Sony's Hawkeye virtual measurement technology to measure first downs in 2025, replacing the chain gang measurements. This I don't like because they tried using this. I don't know if it was this system or a similar system last preseason in a couple of games, and it did not work.
I remember them using it in that one Lions game, and we had so many issues. We were waiting for 8 minutes for them to decide was it the first down or not.
Yeah, you don't want to take the human factor out of your measurements. I don't care how accurate this may be from time to time. This technology is going to let you down and be an embarrassment. What if it happens in the Super Bowl? This is going to be a nightmare scenario.
I don't think it'll be that bad.
They must be getting a lot of money from Sony to switch systems and put these poor retired school teachers out of a job holding these sticks on the sidelines.
Or retired podcasters. I mean,
whatever.
You were looking at being a chain gang guy, weren't you?
I thought about it at one time.
I'm sure you did. Look, I
want to be the guy that holds the big microphone dish on the sideline.
You want to be that guy?
Yeah.
I'm sure we can make that work for you somewhere. But look, I get that. We've talked about this before, that all this technology in the game and the way we measure first downs is two guys with a couple of sticks and a chain in between.
Yeah.
Look, it is a weird optic, but it's a classic. It's a classic thing for playing outdoor football.
It doesn't require any technology. Like on a high school team, field, you can lose the lights on the stadium, and if there's still some light out, you can still play the game because you've got those sticks.
But
and
the
those
thing
chains.
is, they're always going to have these things laying around waiting just in case. Like, hey, the system isn't working, so let's get the chain guys out there. So I don't know. We'll see how it works. We're complaining about it right now. It doesn't sound great, but we all know. Just give it time. We'll see how it actually works. Then we can assess and complain then, and then Randy can make a YouTube video about it.
Do you remember years ago, Pat Summerall did a short video for the touchdown or the first down laser?
I think sounds kind of familiar.
I had a link to it on our website, on our links page under NFL. I don't know if it's still there, if that video still works or not, but I do have the link there. And people go watch that, and it was an actual laser that you could see. They set it up, when they put the first down marker, there was a laser beam that went across the field, and Pat Summerall was talking about this new innovation. It never came to be. They never used it in a game. I don't even think they used it in preseason or whatever, but I thought that was the coolest thing at that time, that you could see this line. I think that was even before they had the white first down line on TV that you could see from home. But this was actually in the stadium that you could see that line on the field. But to me, that would have been even better. But anyway, this Sony Hawkeye technology was going to use 6 8K cameras to track the ball's position on the field, and even they admitted that it won't be perfect every time.
Yeah, well,
so
at least they're being honest about that.
Yeah.
It's not going to be perfect.
At least they're getting paid for it. All right, the Detroit Lions' proposal to eliminate the automatic first down on certain defensive penalties was rejected by the league. Yeah, I don't like this either. Under the current rules, illegal contact and defensive holding will result in a 5-yard penalty with an automatic first down. If it's not a 10-yard penalty, it should not be an automatic first down.
Yeah, I think that's dumb.
Give them 5 yards, but don't make it a first down.
Right.
And I hate that.
All these rules that favor the offense, you can't give the defense a break.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I didn't have this written down, but the tush push.
Yes,
I do have that coming up.
It's coming up. We're almost there.
Well, okay. The nose wipe celebration has been banned by the league now.
Oh, you jumping ahead?
Yeah, I guess I am.
Well, okay. First, you skipped the Lions' proposal to alter the playoff seating was tabled.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yep. And then the nose wipe celebration is now banned.
Yep.
We've been seeing that making the rounds across a lot of leagues.
Yep.
Even the Arena League, they had an issue where a guy did that celebration and got a penalty.
Okay.
So.
But what do you think about the altered seating for the playoffs?
I'm kind of okay with it. Like, I do think, like, if you're a division winner and you got a lesser record than some of these other teams, I kind of agree. Like, I think it should be the highest four, seeded or the highest 4 teams with the best records probably should get the home games. Like, if you're a 9-8 Tampa Bay team coming out of that NFC South, why should you get a home game over
Because
a team like the Vikings or Lions, who were both 14-2 going into that last game of the season?
That's true. And had Detroit lost that last game, they would have been the ones to be on the road.
And I'm not saying that because if we were the ones on the road. I'm just saying I feel like in any sport, if I think if you win your division, you should get a spot at the table. I 100% that should not change. But it is weird when a 9-8 or 7-9 division winner, which will happen probably on occasion. It's happened once every 5 or 6 years. A 7-9 winner of a division gets in. They should host a playoff game.
Well, then why do we even bother having divisions?
For the rivalry? Yes.
Division has to count for something. You win your division.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You still get to go to get a playoff spot.
You get at least a home game.
No, I don't think that should be guaranteed anymore. You should at least be in the playoff.
I don't know. I think
you should be in the dance, but you shouldn't get a home game.
Well, of course you're going to.
Your better record should get you the home games. Is what I'm saying. If you don't like it, win more games. But hey, if your division was crappy that year, okay, we'll throw you a bone. You at least get in the playoffs. That I'm okay with. But I think hosting a home game, nah. Like, you're telling me a 14-3 team that just lost out on their division should go down to a 7-9 team that won their crappy division? Like, come on now.
Yeah. And again, like I said before, the decision on the tush push has been tabled for now. I think they should leave it in. I think.
Oh, you're on.
Yes,
board with it.
I'm fine with it. I'm absolutely fine with it.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page. If you can't stop them,
right,
that's on you.
Yeah,
I don't think that stopping the tush push off the field like this with a rule should happen. I think like the teams that can do this, like the Eagles, who've done it very well, figure out a way to stop them.
Yeah,
the NFL can, or these teams can say it's player safety, it's this, it's that. No, you're making up excuses to prevent a thing from happening because the team's really good at it. Yeah. That's like saying, hey, whoa. Patrick Mahomes is really good at throwing the forward pass. I think we should start outlawing the forward pass.
Yeah, limit how many passes you can make.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes, he can only do so many acrobatic throws in a game. Like, we got to really limit. No, the Eagles perfected it. We've seen it get stopped. Stop them.
Yeah.
Just stop them.
Well, we've watched a lot of CFL football.
Yeah.
And in the CFL, the defensive line has to be 1 yard away from the offensive line. And so whenever there's a fourth down play, it's basically
a gimme.
A gimme that they're going to get that 1 yard because they'll snap the ball real quick. They'll get the quick advantage. And the quarterback just, follows his center straight ahead, and they get the first down.
They also have that extra yard of cushion between them.
Right. So why are people so up in arms because the tush push is like an automatic first,
I'll tell you why, because a lot of these people aren't watching Canadian football and don't.
I know, that's why we're here to tell them. It's been going on for years. It's just a part of the game. Deal with it.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Just stop it.
Absolutely.
All you got to do is figure out a way to stop it. Then there's got to be some genius defensive coordinator or defensive assistant, ball boy, water boy, what have you. Somebody out there with a degree is probably sitting there mathematically coming up with an equation to figure out how to stop the tush push. We all know what's out there. Just like look at the stinking egghead that came up with that new torpedo baseball bat that everybody's been talking about over the weekend.
I just saw that for the first time
today. So there's got to be a way to stop it.
Yeah.
And if not, then good luck, everybody.
Years ago, it was the run and shoot offense that nobody could stop. Quarterbacks were throwing on every play. It was great, and it worked for a few years, and then people started figuring it out, so it became less of a thing.
Hey, remember when the Wildcat was a thing a few years ago?
Right.
And then what happened to that? You get once in a blue moon, you get that play.
Yeah.
But
so people will figure out the tush push, so leave it in, let it go. I have no problem with more teams using it to get that fourth down play, that 4th and 1 from any point on the field, and keep the drive going for the offense.
I don't get why people hate it anyway. Like, because it's old school football. It is literally the original scrum in modern day football.
Right.
It is our big boys against your big boys. Let's see who pushed better.
Yep.
So
I don't think there have been that many injuries from that play either.
I don't think so either. I just know
that's pretty bad when you got all these bodies on top of each other.
But I think that's what people are going to sit here and use as an excuse. Is, oh, but people could get hurt. Football players could get hurt out there, Wendy, if they go out there and do the tush push all the time.
Hey, strap up your jock strap and get back in the game. All right. You have no answer for that, do you? There you go.
I wasn't prepared for that.
All right. And lastly from the NFL today, Bill Parcells is going to be inducted into the Patriots Hall of Fame this fall. Parcells was the head coach of the Patriots from 93 to 96 and led the team to 2 playoff berths. He was named the NFL's Coach of the Year in 1994. I guess this is different from the Ring of Honor because I thought it was Ring of Honor at first, but they're saying Hall of Fame. So I don't know if that includes, if you're in the Hall of Fame, you go into the Ring of Honor. I don't know how that works.
I don't know either.
But we'll find out. But, yeah, he's going to be honored by the team in their Hall of Fame. All right, moving on to a couple of CFL stories. The Saskatchewan Roughriders have added Dallas Cowboys quarterback Trey Lance to their negotiation list. This means that if he wants to play in the CFL, which he could be cut any time now, that the Roughriders will have the exclusive rights to sign him first before anybody else has a chance to sign him. His father, which I didn't know this, Carlton Lance, was a cornerback for the team for one season back in 1993.
If I were Trey Lance, I would take this opportunity.
Sure.
I mean, sure, being a backup in the NFL and all that probably pays a little better.
He's already made his money.
You made your rookie contract money, whatever.
Yep.
You want a real opportunity because clearly you're not getting it in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Go up to the CFL. I know a lot of people turn their nose up at that opportunity, but you know what? I'm not saying he's going to be a star, but give it a shot.
Sure,
man.
absolutely.
Do it.
Absolutely. Okay, another CFL story. British Columbia, Toronto, Saskatchewan, and Ottawa all exceeded their 2024 salary cap expenditures last season. The salary cap is $5.525 million for each team in 2024. The BC Lions will forfeit the highest of their first and second round selections in the upcoming draft. That's the number 3 pick and the number 9 pick. Due to the amount by which they exceeded the salary cap. The Calgary Stampeders are going to benefit that because they are being awarded BC's forfeited picks in the final selections in the first 2 rounds.
Dang.
So yeah, that's pretty big. So right now they have the regular pick. The Calgary has the regular pick in the first round. Then they got the 8th pick, and in the second round, then they have the 17th pick. So they're getting 2 picks in the first and second round. I don't know how Calgary got so lucky to get both of those picks, but they sure did. The 2024 salary cap expenditure overages. BC Lions exceeded the salary cap by $347,000. Toronto by just $87,000, Saskatchewan by $40,000, and Ottawa by just $22,000. So yeah, BC was the biggest offender, so they got the biggest penalty. Lost a couple of lost their top 2 draft picks.
That's pretty rough.
It is. It sure is. But that's the way they do things up there.
I mean, if you're British Columbia, I mean, all that for what?
Yeah, they didn't even. I mean, they were in the playoffs. Were they?
I can't remember if they. No, yeah, they were in the first round, but all that you had nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
At least Toronto won a Grey Cup.
yeah, and they only had to overdo their cap by what was it there?
$87,000.
$87,000. Yeah. All right, moving on to some college news. Deion Sanders gets a new 5-year, $54 million contract extension to remain the head coach at the University of Colorado. He'll make $10 million in 2025, another $10 million in 2026, $11 million in 2027, and $11 million in 2028, and $12 million in 2029. The $10.8 million per year average of his contract makes him one of the highest paid coaches in all of college football.
I mean, he's earned it.
Yeah.
I mean, while Colorado hasn't gone out and won a bowl game, it's clear that
he's brought attention to the team. He's brought excitement. People want to watch their games.
Yeah, it's a culture changer, and it's a far cry from what they used to be. Got to give him credit. He did it with Jackson State. He's doing it now at this level, and I think, giving him that time, give him another 5 years, see what he could do.
And that closes a lot of the talk on him jumping to the NFL,
Well,
to
hold
wherever
on. Let's
his
not
son.
get too crazy with that.
Well,
These contracts mean nothing in college. We all know it. There's outs. There's different opt-outs, opt-ins,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. Other bonuses, I'm sure, if he exceeds certain wins or wins certain games. These contracts are riddled with all this crap. So I don't believe for a second that he even sees the end of this 5-year deal. It looks good on paper.
Yeah.
But it's a good fallback for him in case an NFL opportunity doesn't pan out, like maybe he thinks. But if it jumps up, I'm sure the university's protected and not having to pay him all that money.
Well, what's going to happen in 5 years? Shador is going to be off his rookie contract.
That's also true.
So he might go to a different team.
Shador,
So maybe
hold
Dad
on,
could
let's
go
not get too crazy. Shador could be up in the CFL by then. Let's all face it.
with Trey Lance.
With Trey Lance. There you go.
All right. Let's see. Finally, in college news, former Detroit Lions quarterback Gary Danielson is going to retire as a college football broadcaster after the upcoming 2025 season. This season will be his 20th season with CBS Sports and his 36th season overall of calling college football games. And you don't remember him as a quarterback.
No, I'm as old as his career.
I had
in
his
broadcasting.
Jersey at one time, the
course
number
you did.
16 Danielson jersey.
Was that the jersey I inherited from you?
Probably.
Okay.
But yeah, he was a good quarterback for the Lions. Not the greatest, but he was good. And then to see him, all these years later as I guess he's one of the lead college broadcasters for CBS. So good for him on a great college broadcasting career. All right, birthdays and anniversaries for April 1st. College coach Bo Schembechler, born on this date in 1929. He passed away in 2006 at the age of 77. He was a head coach at Miami of Ohio from 1963 to 1968 and at the University of Michigan from 1969 to 1989. He led the Wolverines to 17 bowl games in 21 seasons at the school, including 10 Rose Bowls. His overall coaching record with both schools was 234 wins, 65 losses, and 8 ties. He was inducted into the University of Michigan Hall of Honor in 1992, as well as the Rose Bowl Hall of Fame and the College Football Hall of Fame in 1993. Also having a birthday today, Taco John Jumbo Elliott turns 60 years old today. He played his college football at Michigan. He was selected in the second round of the 1988 NFL Draft by the New York Giants. He played 14 NFL seasons. He was with the Giants from 1998 to 1995, the New York Jets from 96 to 2000, and in 2002, he won Super Bowl 25 with the Giants, and he was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 2020. We also have 2 obituaries to talk about today. This is where we take a moment to honor those who've made the world of football a better place. The first one is that of Eugene Chick Sachowski. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. A cornerback in the NFL and the Canadian Football League has passed away at the age of 90. Sachowski played college football at Indiana and was selected in the 21st round of the 1957 NFL Draft by the Pittsburgh Steelers. He played for the Steelers just one season in 1957. Then he also played for the Washington Redskins in 58 and 59. He finished his playing career in the CFL with the Calgary Stampeders in 1960 and 1961. He went on to be a high school football coach at New Trier, T-R-I-E-R. Is that Trier?
I'd say New Trier.
Well, whatever. New Trier High School in Illinois for 20 seasons and posted a record of 145 wins, 47 losses, and 1 tie. Sachowski was inducted into the Indiana Football Coaches Association Hall of Fame in 1992.
Illinois.
I'm sorry, did I say?
You said Indiana. Sounded like Indiana.
Okay. Yeah, Illinois. And the American Football Association Hall of Fame in 2009.
All right, and our final obituary this week is that of Matt Stevens, a defensive back in the NFL for 8 seasons, has passed away at the age of 51. Stevens played college football at Appalachian State and was selected in the 3rd round of the 1996 NFL Draft by the Buffalo Bills. He played for the Bills in 1996, For the Philadelphia Eagles from 1997 to 1998, the Washington Redskins from 1998 to 2000, the New England Patriots from 2000 to 2001, where he won a Super Bowl with the Patriots, and the Houston Texans in 2002 and 2003.
All right, and lastly on our show today, upcoming events calendar. This Friday, April 4th, the Tulsa Oilers at the Fishers Freight in the Indoor Football League in Indianapolis, and we are going to be at that game Friday night. Pick up Aaron on the way there, and the three of us are going to check out that game.
Very excited.
I am. I'm very excited to go down there and see a new team. It's because their home opener. They won on the road last week in Northern Arizona, so first home game. So this is going to be pretty exciting. Then Sunday, April 13th, in the UFL, it's the San Antonio Brahmas at the Michigan Panthers in Detroit, and we're going to be at that game.
Heck yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Very excited about that one, too.
Yep. Let's see. Thursday, April 24th through the 26th, it's the NFL Draft in Green Bay. We will not be attending that this year. Saturday, April 26th, the Women's Football Alliance season begins.
Are we going to check out any games? Don't we have a Grand Rapids and a Detroit team?
We do. There are teams in Grand Rapids and Detroit. I have not looked at their schedules, but yeah, I wouldn't mind checking out a Grand Rapids game.
Yeah.
It's only an hour north of here.
Figure that out.
Yep. And finally on our calendar for this week, Tuesday, April 29th, the CFL draft and their global draft is going to take place. And that usually is a conference call that's starts in Toronto. Everybody calls in, and they just make their picks over the phone.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
Not a lot of popping
Not a
circumstance.
spectacle like we have here in the States. But nevertheless, congratulations to all the future CFL draft picks out there. All right. Anything pop up on your phone before we call this a show?
Nothing major. Goodell, I guess, is having a live press conference right now.
Boring.
Yep. A lot of April Fool's jokes out there. It's weird doing a April Fool's Day show. Trying to also weed through the news, be like, is this real? Is this not real? Is this a real movie title? Nope, that's a fake one. Then there's a real one, and you're like, that's fake. But oh wait, it was real.
Yeah, you didn't see this, but there was a post supposedly from the Albany Firebirds of the Arena Football 1, showing some stupid jerseys, uniforms that they're coming out with. Then I realized it was April Fool's Day. So.
Yeah, there's quite a few of those today.
And the other one that I saw, and I forget who it was, saying that the Pittsburgh Steelers were trading for Dak Prescott.
Yeah, there's a lot of those out there. You just gotta keep your head on a swivel when it comes to April Fool's Day.
But the greatest one we ever saw, and we mention this every year, was when the CFL said that they were going to be playing a game on an aircraft carrier during their upcoming season on an April Fool's. We so wanted that to be true because they had a nice picture, like a graphic, a mock-up of a CFL field on an aircraft carrier. Man, that would have been awesome.
Yeah. Now, like this one, there's a story like this that the Arizona Sun Devils football team put out there where they're going to have a maroon field coming this fall. And is this real? You're announcing this on April 1st?
It's just weird enough to say, okay, it could be true.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Like, I'm looking, is this real or not? I don't know.
We'll find out tomorrow.
It apparently is an April Fool's joke, I think, but like... That's a believable one.
That's totally doable.
That's a legit one.
When you've got teams out there with blue fields and red fields.
That's what I'm saying. Like, now that's how you do, if that is a real April Fool's joke. That's how you do it.
That could be totally legit.
But I'm like trying to scroll through and see if something else just happens to pop up on our algorithm.
Yeah, you got to be careful. I mean, all that stuff coming out of the NFL owners' meetings today,
right.
I wanted to take with a grain of salt, but I figured, well, if it's coming from NFL Network, it must be fairly true.
Like, I do want to quickly see if I can find this Firebirds jersey you were talking about. Yep, the Albany Eggs.
Yeah.
I see that, yep. That is terribly photoshopped. I could have told you in an instant that was fake. All right. Yep, I'm good.
Okay. Well, that's all the time we've got for this week, folks. Join us again next week. And remember, some people may love football more than we do, but nobody, and I mean nobody, loves more football than we do.
You're darn tootin', Randy. Finger guns.
Much better.
Oh, I'm glad.
Much better
that
this
worked
week.
out. I don't think I like this. We still need a new way to end the show.
Yeah, it's a work in progress.
It's 2 weeks in a row. It's a work in progress.
Thanks for listening, and we hope you enjoyed this installment of This Week in the World of Football. New episodes of the podcast are posted every Tuesday and can be found wherever good podcasts are found. You can find the World of Football on Facebook, Instagram, and X by searching for TWOF Kalamazoo or using the links down in the episode description. Head on over to YouTube and subscribe to the World of Football for more fun football-related content. Just search for the World of Football Kalamazoo or use the handle @the World of Football. Thanks for listening and hope to see you again next time.